Alrighty, let's talk a little bit about the Tariff of 1828, or as the Southerners would call it, the Tariff of Abominations. Now here, I have a Southern plantation owner, and as you can see, he's taken his cotton, put it on a boat, and he plans to ship it all the way to Europe, and in exchange, he's going to take some of the profits that he made and buy something that was manufactured in England. In this case, it's a clock. And the cost of this clock normally would be $10. Okay. Meanwhile, back in the United States, okay, we have another company who is just getting started, and they are also making clocks. And one thing you might notice is that their clocks are a little bit more expensive. Why? Because of startup cost. They have to pay for that new factory they just got done making, and so the cost of making their clocks are more expensive than Europe's clocks, because in Europe they've had their factory long enough that they've now paid off the building and the cost of manufacturing has gone down. In order to help out northern manufacturers, Congress decided to put a tariff on imported goods. So let's see how this plays out. So when it comes to consumer cost, for the British-made clock, typically it would cost a Southern plantation owner $10. For the U.S.-made clock, it would have been $15. The free market suggests that a consumer, if the clocks both work and are equally good, well then you'll get the cheaper one at $10. But Congress goes and adds a tariff, which is a tax on imported goods. And this makes the British clock $18, while the United States clock is still $15. Now, let's see if we can evaluate who the winners are. Well, the winner is the northern manufacturer. Why? Because people will now go and buy the $15 clock instead of the $18 clock. Who is the loser? Well, the British manufacturer. Why? Because while he used to have sales, when his clock was $10, now he's not selling to the Southern plantation owner because it's more expensive. Who's perhaps the biggest loser? The plantation owner. Why? Because the plantation owner was buying a clock at $10 for the cheapest model, and now the cheapest model is $15. This is why Southerners are upset about the Tariff of 1828, or what they call the Tariff of Abominations.